Hi, and welcome back to Scholastic Natalie. Today we're doing something a little bit different, which is actually looking at my most modern and most recent poetry. I say most recent, but some of it's probably like 3 years old. I honestly don't write poetry that much. Some of these are for a creative writing assignment. I think all of these were for some sort of assignment, but, well, one of them wasn't. But all of them I'm actually pretty proud of. So the first one we're going to look at is a pretty, low-key one that I called The Faces of Love. The love of my life wears a t-shirt with Elf Lord on it. I can never take them seriously. An obsession with purple, a fascination with chainsaws. You're high and you're drunk. The love of my life is 6 feet tall, but I can fit my hands around their waist and stand on my tiptoes to reach their shoulders. Sometimes they get a pat on their head. The love of my life wears their hair in a ponytail. Always. It takes them 20 minutes to blow dry, they spend 10 minutes in the shower, and they take them at 10 o'clock at night. The love of my life is judgmental, but accepting of all my faults, supportive of all my choices, even if they nag me at every turn. The love of my life doesn't believe in change. They have a hard time accepting new facts, they can't switch topics easily, and they gloat over every perceived victory. The love of my life is constant, no matter how they seem ever-changing. This was actually the final draft of this poem. I do still like it. I wrote it thinking about my family, and taking all of their traits and kind of combining them into this poem. And I liked that you can't tell who or what this is about exactly, because of course all the things I'm listing belong to multiple people. I really enjoyed writing this. I still am happy reading it. I don't even know if I have much I'd change on it, because I still think it's a good piece of poetry. Of course, that's my personal preference. Somebody else might feel differently reading this, of course. Now, if you have some criticism on it, I'd love to hear it. I might not change anything, I'm going to be completely honest, but if it's something that's, like how you're reading it, or something doesn't sound quite right, I'd love to know. As I say to everyone I give critiques to, you don't always have to take writing advice. Sometimes it's recommended. It's just, you don't have to do it, but here's what I think about the piece, essentially. And I try to approach that with my own criticism, because sometimes your brain's like, oh my gosh, no, we can't listen to anything they say, when at first you get it, and then later you're like, oh wait, that actually makes a lot of sense. I've definitely had that feeling. So, if you have opinions on any of these pieces, if you have feedback or even criticism, I'd love to hear it. I do want to improve my writing. I am not very confident in my ability with poetry. I think I can make it make sense, but I don't know if I really have that super poignant way with words that some poets do. Anyways, we're going to move on to the second one, which I'm also pretty proud of, that I wrote at midnight after reading Shakespeare for one of my classes. This is the one that wasn't for an assignment. It's called An Ache. Oh, how my shapeless heart shakes and shivers, this malformed thing that withers beneath my breast in a gust of dying breath to set the air astir. Oh, how my treacherous heart sways to and fro like a pendulum, coaxed one way and another in a chaos of pleasant verse. It is surrounded on all sides. Hope is torn asunder. Oh, how my deceptive heart lies with one but yearns for another, how I am forced to follow behind it in the street, for I do not know the way it seeks. Led like a leashed beast, my pleading in vain, I will remain caged. Oh, how my malevolent heart takes delight in tricks and misfortunes, dances along the rooftops to the sound of estranged marriage. It leaps in laughter at quarrels, and never ceases to soothe my weary self. Perhaps it is too often set aside. Oh, how my timid heart hides behind all others, waiting for someone to patiently, gently, discover it and whisk it away to the unknown. It is soft and unsullied, never before given free rein. How could you deny such a gentle thing when you release the monsters every day? So, I still don't like the last 2 lines of this, and I still haven't figured out quite how to finish it off. because I tried to kind of like leave the last parts of each stanza, like the last line, to end with a thought and a word that ends with A, as weird as that sounds. And the last two lines feel too much second person, feel too interactive with audience, feel too estranged from the pattern that I was establishing. I don't like it. But I have yet to figure out a better way to end this. So if you have any ideas, I would love to hear them. I think the main thing is that, like, you know, we all have dark sides. We all have dark opinions. And sometimes I feel like we both embrace and reject them at the same time. So I was kind of trying to express that. Who knows if that's what you got out of it. Again, please let me know if you have a solution for the last two lines. I really hate how that stanza ends. Oh, how my timid heart hides behind all others, waiting for someone to patiently, gently discover it and whisk it away to the unknown. It is soft and unsullied, never before given free rein. Something nobody can abide? No. Never before given free rein. Because I used perhaps just too often set aside for a malevolent heart, so what do you want to do with a timid heart? A light? That doesn't sound quite right. Never before given free rein. Someone set it alight. No, that does not sound good. Soft and unsullied. Never before given free rein. Again, I'm always stumped when I get to this. So please let me know if you have any thoughts about it. And so the last one I finished up with is what I turned in for a piece of microfiction, which I now find kind of funny. I mean, it's only 300 words. Because I think the max was 300 words, 125 to 300. Except I didn't write any fiction because I was entirely in despair about that, and probably really depressed when I wrote this, which is why it's titled Depression. So we have the title, which is in bold. Wow, I was really feeling myself. Depression, noun, 5, psychiatry. The condition of general emotional dejection and withdrawal, sadness greater and more prolonged than that warranted by any objective reason. There exists in the back of my head a monster. It lies waiting, always for me to slip, to fall, to become vulnerable, and then it strikes. It is big, a dark serpentine form that curls itself over and over my brain until it is strangled into submission, battered by rough scales, sharp claws, and sharper fangs. It drips poison into my thoughts and whispers false words into my ears. It tells me lies, it tells me truths, it tells me so many of both that I can't tell which is which anymore. They didn't tell you because they don't want you to come. Everyone is in love except you. Even friends, their happy faces only inspire lack of confidence that lurks behind every corner of my soul. Jealousy born of loneliness, born of insecurity, is a thrumming background beat to the daily life that we wander, aimless like birds without wings. Whenever I find myself unintentionally excluded, left out of conversations I don't need to be in, the beast's grip on me grows stronger and I falter, unknowingly left behind and forgotten. They don't want to talk to you because they don't like you. Everyone is loved except you. Disconnected, adrift in the grip of a monster whose wings carry us further and further from reality, to a place where jealousy rears its green and ugly head with vengeance, where I am replaced, where I am unimportant, a seed instead of a sapling, something easy to kill, something that might not ever sprout at all if the frost gets to it first. There's a reason they don't want to tell you things. Everyone can be loved except you. Hi guys. go to therapy and get meds if you're depressed. You know, I wrote this, oh my gosh, when did I write this? Junior year of college, about the time when I hit up my doctor and I was like, hey, I'm super depressed. And you can really tell that with this. Like, I still have those thoughts, but I recognize when it's not me talking most of the time. Okay, I still struggle with that sometimes. We are not all perfect. And I have never claimed to be. But we do, I don't know, this really does make me think of that year, because it's just, that is exactly how I felt for such a long time. It still kind of like sneaks up on me every now and then, but this is pretty much the entire summary of my depression. So I'd love if you have something to say about this, if you have critiques, if you have opinions. I honestly want to submit this somewhere, but I have no idea where, because I know nothing about poetry. Writing stuff, competitions, I haven't bothered to research it, because, as always, my brain tells me that nothing's going to come of it. Hello, I'm really good at talking myself out of things. But this is one that actually I continue to be happy with, I guess, in terms of writing. Kind of sucks to, be in that headspace, but it's something that really continually speaks to me. It's just the phrasing and everything. I'm still kind of shocked that I wrote this, to be honest. Whenever I read my writing, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that just sounds so good. Did I write that? Was I unexpectedly possessed by something? Sometimes it feels like something just like took over my brain and I wrote really well, and then the next time I try to write, it's like, oh, the tree is tall. But yes, these are 3 pieces of poetry that I am pleased with, I like, except for the last 2 lines in an ache. As always, because I think it's only fair, because I spent probably about 4.5 hours ripping Gabby's poetry book a new one, I should, put my stuff out there, let it be critiqued, let it be breathed in and seen. I honestly don't think I have anything more recent. I'll update you guys on that. Sorry if you can, hear it. I drank Dr. Pepper and my stomach's like, oh ho ho, did you say rumble? I'm sorry, that was entirely unnecessary for me to say. But I feel like I'm rambling again. I am rambling again. This is an issue. I get in front of a microphone, and because I think nobody listens to me, I just talk and go on, and that's why my videos are so long. But yes, let me know if you like these. Let me know how you feel about these. Let me know if you have any criticism, thoughts, improvements that you would like to see on this. I'd love to hear it. I always love to hear it. I'm always looking for ways to improve myself, my writing, my video skills. I know my video skills are bad. I'm sorry. You guys are being forced to suffer a little bit. So, I hope we are all having, or will have, or are making plans to have a good 2021, or at least a more positive one in some way, shape, or form. I know the past year has sucked for a lot of us, and it's not, of course, immediately going to get better and immediately going to change, but hopefully we can change that downwards trajectory to one of upwards momentum at the very least. Remember, every time there's a low, there will always be a high following after it. We can do this. We can make 2021 at least a little bit better. So, thanks for coming to my channel. Thanks for watching my very rambly video about my poetry. If you've made it this far, I'm impressed. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and we're going to continue talking about writing, reading, D&D, occasionally video games. Just a heads up, I kind of include a lot of things under the general banner of writing and reading, because so many other mediums can be seen as a sort of storytelling device. They can not give you quite the same thing as reading like an actual book does, but they can still give you a very similar experience when they have well-formed characters like video games, and they can just give you things, and oftentimes playing video games can enhance things that you can't get through a book. Some games that are so good at like inciting empathy within you and getting you to feel it and mirror it, and I find that sort of stuff fascinating. So I'm sure eventually we will talk about it. Anyways, thank you. I hope you have an amazing year coming, and if you don't think you can have an amazing one, at least we will have a better one than last year. I'll see you all later. Scholastically Natalie is out.